kick off at the Emirates, but we've got a bit of breaking news, and it is transfer news. And we told you yesterday that Liverpool had gone in with a £50 million bid for the Brighton winger Yankuba Minteh. That was rejected. Well, we expected them to go back in again, and they have. They've upped that offer to £60 million. That too has been rejected by Brighton. It does not meet their valuation. We'll have more on that and the other transfer stories on the Transfer Show with Mike Wedderburn at 7 o'clock. Yeah, said with a smile there. Well, Liverpool have been in search of at least one winger all summer, with interest in PSG's Bradley Barcola, as well as that rejected bid for Minteh. Andoni Iraola won't mention names, but says there will be additions before the window closes.
You know what I'm going to tell you, we cannot speak about players that are not ours, and in terms of, you are asking me what do we need, there are certain situations that for me are clear, that are especially now on the wing, because we don't have enough players like specific to play in those positions, and then after in other positions, I think we have to be open and open-minded in the market to see situations that honestly can improve our team. It's not about signing because we need a player here. No, it's about improving the squad. I wanted the players for the first day, 13th of July, everyone here, all the positions doubled, top-level players, but you understand that how the competition works, that market is open and you start the competition. We have to adapt as coaches to these situations. I hate these 2 weeks or these 10 days that we have because there is a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, those are thoughts of the new Liverpool head coach, Andoni Iraola. We can have a look, Warren, at the current squad at Liverpool. Should the fans be a little bit concerned with the depth of that squad?
I wouldn't be. I think when you look at the goalkeeper, I think that speaks for itself, not a problem there. Back four, I thought they brought good depth coming in with experience, although it's only on loan. Midfield area, and like you've touched on there, they're looking in wide areas. I think that's where they can improve to get service. It hates me to say it, but I think Isak will have a really good season. I think he's a player that had the injuries last season. He's a very, very good finisher. They need supply, and maybe that's where they're looking in the wide areas, particularly on this right-hand side, that they can get good deliveries. I think Wirtz will come good. Elliott, we know about him. So I'm not overly concerned. I know they're going on 4 fronts, but I think realistically they'll be looking at a domestic cup, and obviously the Premier League as well. I think Champions League is too far away for them at the moment. But I think with Isak up there, well, like we said with Haaland, when you've got someone that can get you goals, and he's proved he can do that, then I think he will score goals, in particularly in this team that they have.
This is predominantly the squad that Arne Slot has left, Andoni Iraola, and clearly they play in very, very different ways. Do you think the makeup of this squad is conducive to the style of play that Andoni Iraola will want to bring at Anfield?
Yeah, I think he's simplified how they play. Where before we knew about maybe playing out from the back, getting the ball out from the back, being a bit more confident on the ball. They was a little bit vulnerable because they was trying to go forward, and they got caught in 2 minds, I think, where they was trying to be expansive and play, and then they just got picked off. And once that, again, I go back to that word fear factor, when players don't fear playing against Liverpool, wanted to score goals, they was a bit vulnerable. But I think he's got enough experience about the league, knowing these players, and they know him of what he's done before. I think he'll simplify it. I don't think he'll over-embellish in midfield. I think he'll want to get it wide and then want to get into his striker. As I said, at the back, I think they'd be much better than there was, because at the beginning of the season, they was pushing their fullbacks on and leaving the 2 centre-halves isolated, and people were just going down the side time and time again. I don't think that'll happen this time. I think they have a good stability.
One player missing in that midfield is Curtis Jones.
Yeah.
He's on the verge of joining Inter Milan. We understand he's out there having a medical. It's a homegrown player, someone who's been at the club since he was 9 years of age. And obviously, it's an added emotion when the fans lose someone like that. Is that a concern for you, maybe the lack of players who have come through the ranks at Liverpool and the homegrown players there?
Yeah, I mean, this club has always had a great tradition with academy players coming through. Steven Gerrard, Jamie Carragher, obviously the players that are coming through. But is he going to play? How much playing time is he going to get when he's in that middle there? So that would have been in Curtis's mind, saying, look, I've got a taste of the England. Maybe I need to go to a European team and play well. Listen, he's gone to Inter Milan. He's not gone to a team that's struggling. They're a team that are building. They want success. I love the fact now that we're seeing a lot of British players go to Europe and do well. You look at Jude Bellingham, what he's been able to do. So for him to go out there, Curtis, I think it's a great move personally for him and we'll see his development as a player.
Andoni Iraola in his first season will be contesting 4 competitions. What does success for Andoni Iraola and Liverpool look like next season?
A trophy. So whether that's the FA Cup or the Domestic League Cup, but also to have a competitive season in the Premier League, competing with the likes of Arsenal. I think Manchester United were there. Are Chelsea going to be there? Are Manchester City going to be there? So I think he's got enough about him as a coach, with the squad of players he's got, with that fan base that they have behind him, to have a good season. Yes, it's going to be difficult, but I think he'll pick the games and maybe won't rotate so many players, what we've seen before. I think he'll go with what he likes and chose them and ride them from as long as they can, and then maybe give them a break here and there. But I think domestically, he'll want to do well first and foremost.
I mean, the Premier League and the Champions League is what the fans would want. Do you foresee them getting one of those, or maybe one of the
I can see them more
competitions?
challenging for the Premier League. Then I think the Champions League is not there yet. But again, it all goes how, if Isak is scoring 25, 26 goals a season, that changes the whole dimension of that team. They're very much a team, and he as a coach, are playing on the front foot, getting service in. So I think he could cause teams problems.